Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your support, and if you'd like to learn how to support even further through Twitch or Patreon, just hang out till the end of the video. If I watch this video, we're really going to be getting into, like, the weirdest thing ever. Like, we're going to be getting into, like, the obesity meta here. In all honesty. We really will be getting into, like, the obesity meta. Because we got, like, a bunch of, like, fat guys on Keemstar talking about something. You know, like myself, Wings, Tipster. It just seems weird to do that. I guess I'm curious. Though. Sure.
I've wanted it so fucking bad.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, what do we want to talk about?
Well, there's a lot of stuff, Wings. First of all, I find it kind of ridiculous that I had to pay you like $200 just to communicate with you.
What?
You got to hit the follow button, man.
Yeah, but you have to
What?
follow for 5 months.
Well,
to type in the chat.
I mean, like, it's because I get harassed a lot. Like, a lot. Like, more than
Really?
almost any person on the planet.
Yeah, he's more oppressed than gay people. But really, 5 months though seems a little bit of a stretch. I could understand, be like, yeah, I have it on like set for like a 24 hours or something. But what's interesting is that even if that's his genuine reason for doing that, it's like very self-consuming. Like, people are gonna be like, I gotta follow for that long just to get a payout there. I'm not gonna really worry about it. I'm not really gonna bother. You know what I'm saying?
Can you approve one channel or no? Does it have to just stay 5 months?
I'm from my understanding, it's just a blanket thing. I can change it to whatever I want to change it to. But I changed. It was 5 days, but then the stream just went crazy, so I moved it to 5 months.
I think the only way to override it is to
Hold on a second. I'm just trying to see if there was like, I don't know if there was like another place to watch this. Like, where is this originally from?
mod. Like if you were to
Yeah,
mod
if you're a mod,
something,
yeah.
override it. Yeah.
So I kind of paid attention to this news story because, you know, it's serious allegations.
It's malicious
with
slander.
another creator. Right. And I have some questions because
Cool.
it seems so strange that the neighbor came over.
Well,
and he said
let me
things were
correct
taken
that
out of
already.
context.
You're using the term neighbor as a blanket statement. I want to put that out there.
What? What does that mean?
Because he's not my neighbor.
What is he?
He lives in the same town.
Yeah, I'll give you that. He does live in the same town, but he doesn't live near me.
And his mother and your mother are friends.
Kinda. They were childhood friends, and then, like, as you age, you know how you kind of like drift apart after high school. Then you reconnect, and then you drift apart again. Then you reconnect. Like his mother and my mother just recently got back together, hanging out again after like a 12-year hiatus. But then
These are like really bizarre specifics that he's like. Why is he like? There's not my neighbor. He just lives in the neighborhood as a neighbor. And then it's like, okay, they weren't really friends, but they are friends. But, like, you know, childhood friends, but they're still friends.
like friends during our young years. Because like,
Okay, I see.
Aaron would come around when we were really young, like 5, 6, 7, 8, that kind of ballpark.
Okay.
And it was kind of like me and my brother would be playing something, and then they would bring Aaron over, and since he was a boy, he automatically came and hung out with us, and it's like, oh, here's Aaron.
Okay.
You know, it was never like a close friend. And
Well, regardless if, you know, he was a close friend or not, he had some involvement in your life, right? And your family knows his family. I mean,
It sounds like a pretty big involvement in his life, because I don't even know what's going on with what's happening here. But your mom is friends with his mom, you probably had involvement. That's usually how it works. Like, you'll force your kids to hang out with each other. It's typically, especially if they're in like a similar age range, which seems like the case. So
This is kind of like how close he lives to you. Doesn't he live like 2 roads away or something?
I don't know. Like there was an address leaked that was 2 roads away, but I went to that address to confront him, and it was an abandoned house.
okay.
So let's talk through this whole thing, right? So he comes out, he's on the Discord, the video comes out, and you fire up a stream with him saying, I'm going to nip this in the butt. How did you even get in contact with him? How did he end up at your house?
I think it's nip this in the bud. It's just funny because I don't know. Like you said, nip in the butt, but I don't know. It's just, I mean, it both works. All right, it's just silly.
January 12th of 2022, he was in my Twitch chat, and he's like, "Oh, I'm Aaron. We used to hang out, blah 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 blah."
Okay.
And I go, and it was cool. And I was talking about how I had a couple soft spots in my floor, and he said he does flooring. So I invited him over to like look at my floors, and give me a quote and a price.
Okay.
And
you already had contact with him.
Right. On Twitter, Twitter messages.
Okay. So this video comes out, you immediately jump in his DMs questioning him about all this, right?
Right.
What's the video?
My tweet is still up on my channel right now. That's everything I've ever said to him on Twitter about this situation.
So you tweeted at him publicly. You didn't jump in his DMs?
No, I jumped in his DMs, but I put the DMs public. I took the 3 DMs and I put them public.
What is happening?
And what, I didn't see that yet. Could you remind me, like, basically around what he said? What you said to him, excuse me?
Let me go back here to it. It goes, so why, this is me talking. So why did you feel the need to lie about me? Question mark. At 10:43 a.m. He goes, I'm not sure what you're talking about at 10:45 a.m. I send him a link to the video. And I say, saying I jerked off to my sister? Question mark.
What is this? What this is all about? That he jerked off to his sister? That's what the big news is about. I'm not trying to be like, that's really bizarre. But like, what is happening?
Which is this is me getting the information wrong. Is actually, he said my sister, like I made fun of my sister's period smelling, and I got kicked out of my house for it. That's what he stated in the video.
What?
And that my wife only agreed to marry me if I gave her land. He said that if I gave my wife an acre of land to marry me, and like we made a trade, she gets land, I get health insurance. That's my idea. And I said, you realize this is slander, and I can disprove.
I don't know. That sounds about right.
Prove all your claims, right? Question mark. This is at 10:48 a.m. He goes, I'm watching it now at 10:48 a.m. So I wait until he can watch the entire thing. So at 10:55 a.m. I go, so what is your end game with this? Because I was curious, like, what do you hope to gain from, coming in here and talking all this trash and kicking a hornet's nest? And he responds with, this was a 3-hour conversation with 4 others about several different people. They edited a shit ton of it together. The sister thing wasn't touching or anything. It was about something said. And the dick pic shit was my take on the PKA shit. And the other shit was edited from all the other shit. That's word for word. That's not me talking. Which, time has said that was all fabrications there. And he goes, I would do anything to make this shit go away. This was too far. They took my words and made this shit from 4 hours of conversation. This is 11:06 a.m. I go, well, come over today if possible, and we'll clear the air. This is 11:06 a.m. And he responded, they talk so much shit, asking me so many questions. And that's it. That's everything I said to the boy.
So, when you said it's slander, would you say that you're basically threatening a lawsuit?
Not there.
It does look like there's 2 Papa Guts on the screen, yeah.
I did say I'm probably going to sue him for slander, but like after looking into it, like it's not worth it. Because like he's what you would call judgment proof, right?
Okay.
Like
Why?
Even if you got a judgment, you can't get blood from a stone. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so he comes over to
like
the
you're not gonna be able to get any money out of it anyway.
house.
But
When
okay.
he comes over to the house, before you guys fire up the live stream, what is the situation like? Do you guys talk before you fire up the live stream?
We say a couple things like I don't even remember what was said, but he basically was apologizing for bringing all this up, and he talked about how the time because when he came over to do the floors, excuse me, when he came over to do the floors, he was talking about how the trolls offered him money to take pictures of the inside of my house, and he asked if he could take pictures of the house next to me. I go, I don't give a shit, and he neglected to tell me all about this at that time. But like there was not very much said. There was literally like 5 minutes that happened between the time he came in and the time we started the live stream. Because I was basically explaining to him during that 5 minutes how I was going to do it. How I was going to have him wear the headset. We were going to go through the video and walk.
So is this whole thing? What is this whole thing about? Him jerking off to his sister? Like, is that what this whole thing is about, or is there more to this? Like, what is this?
Stop and we'll have a conversation about each part that he feels is pertinent.
Okay.
So, you know, as I'm watching the video, and I didn't see the full thing because you did delete the VOD. Why exactly did you delete the VOD?
Okay. Wait, hold on. So we have the entire... Well, we do, fortunately, have access to the entire VOD from this channel that actually uploaded this, which is Call of Duty. And you know what I'm going to do? I should have done this in the first place. All right. What's going on here? Oh, it's locked. That's why I can't move it. Part of me kind of wants to watch this. This full video here. To be absolutely honest with you, I feel like it might be relevant. Might be relevant information. So, let me see if I can get this one up here. Okay.
I've wanted it so fucking bad.
Pause the video. Yes. So we're just waiting for people to come in right now. Streaming here.
Why? Okay.
Video right now.
Mhm.
So kind of say stop when you want to address something. The chat, they'll be able to hear it. You'll be able to hear it. Kind of like fill me in.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know there, I'm trying to nip this in the bud early. A video came out today
Okay.
that said some slanderous things.
Okay.
And it's got my whole family in an uproar because most of it's purity lies.
This guy, did this Aaron guy make the video? This Aaron guy was the one who made it?
And
Him?
this is the guy that's going to be in the video. So we're going to play the video for you guys.
Okay.
We're going to play the audio of the video. Let you guys hear what's said.
Okay.
And then we're going to address this conversation.
So who is...
pretty much his whole life. Yeah, I live right down the street from him. He only stays like 2 roads over from me. My mother and his mother were still friends, so I was all over there, you know, once, twice a month on the weekends or 2 to 3 times.
Oh, the trolls interviewed Aaron and put it up. And is this Aaron, though, that we're watching? Right? This is Aaron, right?
A week. Yeah, we stayed because
I'm sorry.
2 to 3 times a week. Yeah, we stayed over a lot because my mother figured since there was 2 boys there that I'd have somebody to play with, you know, type shit. But we ended up being friends, me and Kenneth, more than me and Jordy, because Jordy's kind of a fucking bully. All right, so I do a
I believe that.
lot of YouTube. And
Wait, so is Jordy not listening to this? While it's going on? I'm very confused. Why doesn't he listen to it as well? So okay, whatever.
it came to my attention fairly recently.
Like, I'm sure he
within
heard it already, but wouldn't it make more sense for him to be able to pause it at the right time still?
the past year.
So this first thing should be the sister stuff,
Yeah,
right?
no, it was talking about you being a bully. I wanted to clarify on that. More like we went and hung out together. Most of the time we were playing video games. Kind of the
How
thing.
old were we?
Very young.
5,
talking
6?
6 to 10 or 11, I think.
Okay.
11. It was probably younger than that.
Probably younger.
Okay,
And,
well, it sounds like 6 to 11, and Jordy's embarrassed about that. Okay.
Jordy takes his video games very seriously, and I never really had the opportunity to play much console gaming. So,
All right, so Jordy was, when he was a young kid, he was an asshole. Who really cares? But okay.
Jordy would win a lot and a lot and a lot, and then whenever I didn't want to.
Yeah, but when you use the term bully, there you take it in a broad context. Thank you, Mario Luigi.
Exactly.
But like, I've never been a bully in my life. Would you agree with that? Like bullying people?
Not like coming straight out and being bullyish to somebody.
I mean, I'll agree to the fact that I've always took video games seriously. And I've always been.
I mean, I mean, what's happening here? I feel like he is kind of a bully. I don't think that's an incorrect. I think if somebody called him a bully, that's not like an inaccurate statement. I've seen some of the ways that he interacts. He's kind of an asshole. I mean, but okay.
Or loser.
Nothing we didn't know.
But like, I've never been a person that would go to a school or out in public and bully somebody.
Not like bully in that context. That's why I wanted to stop it there.
Sure.
I meant more like
he was a dickhead.
Play a bunch of games, spam a bunch of games of like say Mortal Kombat or something. I would lose every game, so then I wouldn't be interested in playing anymore. But play video games, so
okay.
Kind of felt like he was being, aggressive with it.
This is not my brother. This is Aaron. Aaron is my brother.
Is this his brother? Yes. Oh man, that's very funny. But also, why am I laughing? Because people probably say the same thing about me, and that's embarrassing, bro.
Brothers.
3 Papa Guts on the screen. Hell yeah, brother.
And I will say this as well before we start. This was a 4-hour long conversation that I did not agree to recording. And they asked me specific questions about topics from Jordy, PKA, to other people that were in the YouTube community. So
why did he accept that conversation, though? That's my question. He's like, okay, so let's say he didn't know that they were trolls. Still, why would you accept the conversation? Like, what was the motivation there? Was he trying to... Was he trying to give like a fuck you to Jordy? I don't understand.
A lot of this stuff that's said and clipped out in this very video was stuff that was nothing to do with Jordy at all.
Okay.
So that being said, we'll continue.
Interesting.
That Jordy was being trolled, and at first I was like, kind of went to the defense of the guy because I know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it was like little things that I would hear through my mother interacting with his mother and knowing his brother and people that hang out with him and his sister. I know his sister well. Things started pinging in my ears that was like, this shit's real, and he really does. It's not an act, but it is. For me, and what made me reach out, really.
All right, what I was referring to there was clipped out of context. They asked me a question about, when I said that this shit's real and all of that, they asked me a question about whether or not you were acting as a character or if this was actually your personality. And I was like, well, in my opinion, this is a character that he plays on the stream and on the PKA, and a lot of the stuff doesn't match his personality. But then,
is there access to that full interview? That's my question. Is there access to this entire interview?
Things here and there do kind of shine through. That's what I was getting at, but they put it in there and then to try and infer that maybe this some type of allegation or whatever, that they're talking about a rumor. When I was talking about a rumor, about you working at Met Glass, about some issue that had happened where maybe you had injured yourself or had some type of a physical thing that limited you from continuing to work at Met Glass. That's the rumor I was talking about, but they clipped all of this extra stuff in here.
You talking about where I fell off the melter?
Yes.
How's that a rumor?
I thought it was a rumor because I didn't know for sure. I heard through my mom.
It was in the newspaper.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of this stuff is just absolute bullshit, bro.
And the Meglass thing is the 2008 housing crash happened. I got laid off.
Right.
Okay.
And I started doing YouTube. Continue.
It's a little suspicious how in control of the situation Jordy needs to be, and how this guy does seem a little bit afraid of him. I wonder why. Maybe it's because Jordy's a bully.
Rumors about because there was rumors going around through the family about possible sexual assault on his sister.
What, say it again, Wings?
Don't feel ashamed if you got to jerky shit to your sister.
He had either said I believe that he said something extremely inappropriate, and when he was called on it when she confronted him about what he had said, he said that he didn't care what he said
Right.
because
Now, this was a completely different.
Okay, so what it sounds like is Jordy made an inappropriate comment about his sister when he was younger. Is that what they're saying? Who cares? I'm not trying to be an asshole. He sounds like a scumbag. But like, where's the sexual assault aspect? Where's that claim? I don't understand.
Person I was talking about in the conversation, because they were trying to bring up that
Like, it's gross, but I don't understand what's happening here.
sent, and they knew that he had a younger sister, and they were trying to say all this stuff about him with this molesting his sister supposedly, or whatever the hell they wanted to try and spin there. And what I was talking about was another fellow that I know, James, that legitimately had problems with that same issue.
Stop you right there, because Taylor wants to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Because she's upset as hell.
Yeah.
I think it's in your best interest because she's mad.
Right.
So I'm gonna call her.
Okay. Is that the sister? Oh, these aren't even done.
For a while to pick up. She's got twins.
Oh, okay. Thank God we didn't.
I'm gonna try to get her on the phone.
Well, if she's on the stream or listening or whatnot, I never said anything directed at you at all. When I was asked questions about you in particular, I said that around the time that Kenneth went in the military, I stopped hanging around. I didn't feel it was comfortable for me to be friends with someone that was much younger than me, and plus we didn't have shit in common. So, and that was pretty much it for our mention of you in the conversation. That's the whole messed up thing about this whole thing, is that it's like,
I mean, like you said, that's it, but we still got 5 minutes worth here, and we haven't got to the wife stuff.
what he said wasn't a fucking lie. And it was some fucking straight up inappropriate shit to be saying about your 13-year-old sister. When Kenneth went overseas,
I can't hear it.
his sister reached out to me, and she was very young, and I was like, no thank you, and I stopped fucking going around, you know what I'm saying?
I mentioned it right there.
So
That was when they asked me about
around that time is whenever all of that shit happened. It was right before that Jordy got booted to his grandmother's house over whatever the fuck happened there, you know what I'm saying? Nobody confirms or denies what the real reason behind it was, but my mother, who's his mother's best friend.
Idea.
The way the video made it sound, is I did something to my younger sister.
And got booted from the house. I listened to the video when you sent it.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. I don't know. There's like hold on. There's no other interpretation there. Hold on a second.
His firm's house is whenever all of that shit.
I mentioned it right there.
So
that was when they asked me about
around that time is whenever all of that shit happened. It was right before that Jordy got booted to his grandmother's house over whatever the fuck happened there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Nobody confirms or denies what the real reason behind it was, but my mother, who's his mother's best friend.
The way the video made it sound, is I did something to my younger sister.
And got booted from the house. I listened to the video when you sent it.
That's exactly what it
that's
sounds
not true
like.
at all.
No,
like I started living with my grandparents at the age of 5.
Well, you were with your mom.
I started living with my grandparents at the age of 5. Like when you came over to play Mortal Kombat, we were at my grandparents' house.
I didn't recall because, like I said, it was a long ass freaking time ago. So.
All right.
I've been living with my grandparents since 5 because my mother had me when she was really young.
Right.
And she kind of like passed time between my mother and my grandparents, and I ended up liking being with my grandparents more.
Gotcha.
So they just let me stay with my grandparents.
Okay.
I mean, like almost everybody but Kenneth. Like Taylor did the same way. Like Taylor was mainly stay with grandma more than mama as well.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to wait on see if Taylor wants to give this call.
Okay. Is it just gonna be them sitting still?
You see how bad that sounds?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Oh yeah. When I watched the video, I was fucking mortified. I'm like, this is a fucking hatchet job.
So let me ask you this question: why did you agree to speak with these people?
It wasn't necessarily an agreement to speak with them. They offered me money to come over here with a video camera and all kinds of stuff. And I
wait. What do you mean? What is an agreement to speak with? What is he talking about? He asked. How did he say speak with them if he didn't agree to it? I'm very confused. Doesn't make sense to me.
I wasn't absolutely comfortable with that.
But you agreed to sit 4 hours and talk to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't like that. It was just 4 people in there, and they were talking with me about all kinds of different shit. It wasn't, like I said, maybe an hour and a half of the whole 4-hour conversation was even about you or regarding you. And it was just...
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They asked me these questions, and I know why now, because they were trying to get me to fall into some type of bullcrap. Look,
What?
I'll say this before even going further. Anything said in this video, I did not agree to be recorded, for one thing.
Well, first off, South Carolina's a one-party state.
Yeah.
And you live in South Carolina.
Well,
so
but
there's
regardless of whether he agreed to record it or not, it's kind of irrelevant. If anything, that would potentially expose more truth to what he was saying, at least from his perspective. He's like, yeah, this isn't being recorded. I'll spill the beans, bro. Maybe also, you know, I don't know, bro. It's just, it comes off as a little bit sussy. You know what I'm saying? Comes off as a little bit sussy.
Right. So there's nothing I can do.
about
But that being said, and I also didn't know I was being recorded at the time either.
Okay.
Well, the front of the video states that you did consent to recording.
I know, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what? So he actually did consent to the recording? What? Bro. Wait, so the beginning of the video, he outright consents to the recording? Is that what we're saying? I know he's trying to claim that he never consented to it. That doesn't make any sense. So, like, this guy, what's happening here?
That very beginning part should have been my clue to this whole fucking thing. Such a bull.
Let's go on.
I'm assuming wouldn't
Stuff.
tell me a lie about it. A lot of this, like I said, a lot of the shit that he had said in the past when we were kids and shit jives a lot with some of the shit that he says now. And back in the day, I chopped a lot of what he was saying up to, you know, he's just a dude who ain't very cool, so he has to say this shit. So we think he's cool and shit, you know? Like the kid, you know, everybody had the friend in school,
Okay.
or the young kid.
So Jordy was basically like a fucking loser who would lie. That's what the assertion here is. Okay.
School that was their friend that would talk shit about killing animals or shit like that. Everybody has that fucking
the
one guy that's just
What
like,
What the
stuff.
fuck?
he
Is he saying that Jordy used to talk about killing animal? I don't doubt it, because Jordy, didn't he kill his fucking animals, dude? This guy put like a cat in a fucking pot. Bro, if anything, this looks really bad for Jordy, because listen, it seems like there's potential allegations of Jordy doing inappropriate things with his sister when she was young. And I don't know how much younger his sister is than him. I don't really know the specifics. But so far, the defense here is, I didn't know I was being recorded, even though apparently it's confirmed that he knew he was being recorded. And then they're talking about like how he was the kind of guy who would say things, maybe I'm misinterpreting this, but he would say things along the lines of like, oh, I kill animals. And the idea was it's supposed to make him look cool. But he did he not? He literally admitted to killing animals. So did he think that was cool when he was saying that to people? Or did he actually do that thing? Also, who would brag about that? Why would that be a cool, haha, funny guy comment? You know what I'm saying? That's fucking insanity. I just simply do not believe that. I don't know, bro.
he's overtly creepy in a fucking ironic sense. You know what I mean? And I felt like that was what his personality was. He was just kind of saying it to say it.
About, like,
And then now with a lot of the shit he
it was
says
like I
when
was
he's an
constantly
adult,
being creepy about it.
it
Like,
it really fucking
Why don't they pause the video and have this?
His word in
kind of
his
makes
video
you think.
is, like,
Listen, I heard through the grapevine that
talking about, like,
the only reason
hurting
that
animals, talking about
they
things
even
that
are a
was, like,
thing.
like a
Get
natural
this.
part of my personality. That's the way
He
I read it.
supposedly made a deal with her that if she married him, he had
Again,
some property to give.
never
All
been
right,
like
This
that.
is
kind
the
of
part
like
about the
bait
wife
and
here.
switch. He didn't have shit to give, but he kind of led her to believe he did. And now they're just stuck in this like,
Alright, so
well, even if I divorce him, I won't
You
get
stop
shit.
it. Alright, so
What the
this
fuck?
was a scenario brought up by them. They said, well, do you think that Wings' wife married him for his property or for his money or for this or for that, or that he did the other? And I was spinning on what they were saying. They said this, and this, and I was like, well, any scenario in this situation could you know, I mean, any hypothetical could fit if you don't have any fucking knowledge of what actually is going on. So I gave my hypothetical on the shit too.
Okay.
Like I said, it was in conversation. This shit shouldn't have been mallyhacked and put on the freaking internet. It's dumb shit, bro.
Didn't he know it was going to be though? Isn't that the problem with this?
And to you, Jordy, if this shit causes any ill will between you and
I don't
your
know
wife,
what was
it's
said
not
about
my intentions.
It's
Talking about her marrying you for property or whatever.
like, how did that even come up?
They were spinballing a whole bunch of shit saying that that she married, that you and her got together for benefits, or she got with you because she thought you might get some of your property if it was early divorce. There was a
Maybe, I don't know.
bunch of shit
None
that
of
they
this
were
really
saying.
matters.
And I was like,
It's bizarre.
really, I don't personally know, because I really don't. I haven't seen you guys since y'all got married, besides for bumping into you at fucking Walmart. So I spinballed, I said, if you guys are spinballing hypotheticals, I mean, that makes just as much sense as fucking anything else if you don't know what the hell's actually going on.
So,
Okay.
without propagation, you told people that actively been trying to ruin my life for 5 years, that I married my wife. I got my wife to marry me by promising her land, and in return for health insurance.
I mean, I can see how it sounds out of context. It wasn't like I was trying to fucking put this shit out here on you or anything.
The best case scenario is this guy was just trying to be a dickhead and to be like, Jordy's ugly and somebody that nobody wants to actually like date. That's the best. That's like the most positive context. He's being an asshole. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's possible that he married for the health insurance. I wouldn't really doubt it. I mean, like, I love my wife, but we ended up getting married sooner than we probably would have because I needed health insurance too. Doesn't mean that you don't love the person, but okay.
Thing. It's just
So what land had I given her?
Nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. In hypothetical situations, being what they are, if you don't know the fucking facts, it is what it is. It's just a hypothetical.
Well,
They took
maybe he meant like in the context of like giving them land in the context of a place to stay. I don't know. I'm just saying, dude.
this shit and clipped it all the hell out of context. They were asking me questions and putting fucking scenarios down and shit, and yeah.
Taylor doesn't want to be recorded, so my mother's going to call.
Right.
Okay. Why would she?
This is probably best because Taylor's mad.
Right.
Hey,
Hey, you're being recorded right now, Mama, so
no, I ain't talking to you. I ain't getting on that shit.
he's right here. You got to talk to him.
No, no, I'm getting recorded. All
Can-
I know is Aaron needs to straighten it out.
I'm
All
attempting
these lies
to.
needs to be straightened out right now.
I'm attempting to. They clipped a whole bunch of things that were said over 4 hours out of context to make this video.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not getting trolled. I'm sick of this internet shit.
I am too.
And
And I apologize if this shit caused anybody any problems. I apologize.
You know what's interesting is that in this scenario, like if Jordy did something to his sister when they were younger, it doesn't even mean like why would the mom know? Like the mom probably wouldn't know. I'm not trying to like contribute to like a conspiracy theory. I'm just saying like why would she know? You know?
I want to let you know that
Majority y'all, I mean, that come up between y'all. Y'all need to tell it.
we are.
So, Mama,
We're
I
trying
got
to
you
clear it
here.
out.
Huh?
Did I move to my grandparents because I diddled Taylor?
No.
Yeah, no. Exactly.
No.
That's what I'm saying. They took all of this
Okay.
shit and clipped it out of context. They put my words in sentences all mashed up together to make this shit video.
Have I ever been inappropriate with any underage girls in your eyes?
No.
In your
never.
eyes.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh fuck.
And Taylor's never come on.
In your eyes. I don't know, this situation, so I'm gonna take the L here. This situation is like really bizarre. Yeah, I mean, I guess this would be, like, I guess this situation here would confirm. This is one of like the really big problems with allegations like this is that they're so fucked up that once the allegation's made, like a lot of people will still speculate like, oh, they might be true in some capacity. Even like, oh, well, the mom says it didn't happen, but like, what if they're just trying to hide it from the family? What if they're just trying to do this? And it's one of those things where it's like, once you make an allegation like this, it's very difficult to defeat it because there's so many different things that come into play. With people being like, well, but technically, maybe it did happen. Maybe this was a moment of truth. Maybe it really did happen, or maybe these kids hated fucking Jordy and they made lies about him fucking raping his sister. It's one of those things, and like, even if you might believe it, because Jordy's a scumbag, we also kind of have to keep in mind like the idea of due process. You know what I mean? And so, if the only person saying this thing is like one random person, that doesn't mean that it's absolutely true. Like, it's possible that possible that Jordy moved and they were like, oh yeah, he did it because he fucking fucked his sister. It was really fucked up. Like, that's why it happened. You know? I don't know. It's just one of those things where, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't put it past him. But We can't just decide it's real because we don't really like the guy, you know?
I don't want Aaron to leave his wife either.
No,
Unless it's scumbag.
It's a bunch of lies.
It is.
I just got off the phone with your mom, Aaron.
I know. She talked to me.
Damn
Yeah.
right.
She talked to me. I told her, I was like, this shit was, somebody reached out to me trying to pay me to spy on Jordy. I told them I didn't want to. I ended up.
Bro, this all like, tried to pay me to spy on Jordy. You know what that reads as? They gave me money for the conversation. That's why I did it. I'm gonna die here, aren't I? Fuck. So they did that. He probably did it for the money.
In a conversation with 4 other people on the phone that day, and they asked me all kinds of stuff for 4 hours, and 90% of it wasn't even Jordy that they were talking about. And they edited all of this words together on these videos to make it seem like I came out and was exposing Jordy for some bullcrap, when the whole conversation was me telling them I didn't want to take money to spy on somebody because he's a friend of the family. I even said explicitly when they first got on the phone with me, I was like, I don't want to be part of no videos. I don't want to be involved with none of this.
Did they say it was gonna get recorded? Isn't that what Jordy just said?
You were telling them, as you got older, found out all that was true, that Jordy, you started staying away from Jordy. They changed your words on that too?
I mean, no, what that was the shit that happened at Domino's. And that had nothing to do with Jordy. That was the manager at Domino's. That had nothing to do with Jordy.
Well, it kind of sounds like Jordy's an asshole in general, regardless. I don't know. What the read that I'm getting from here is that Jordy's a fucking asshole, and people didn't like him because he was an asshole, and then they made stories up about him, possibly. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of this shit is like very speculative, but it's like, it's you really shouldn't be speculating on whether somebody was, I don't know, fucking sexually assaulting somebody, especially, I don't know, bro. It's just fucked up. This whole thing's fucked up.
And I stayed away from Jordy because I was away from Jordy. I lived in New York and North Carolina and Missouri. I mean,
Jordy's an asshole.
Just wasn't freaking here. I told them that on the phone.
What about the thing with Taylor? Leave your wife when she was underage?
I never said nothing about her trying to get me to leave my wife. That was a whole other person I was talking about.
Oh wait, he made claims that like the sister was trying to get with him. Well, that's fucked up. Okay, interesting.
Miranda
said you told her dad at the store that Taylor wanted you to leave your wife.
No, never said nothing like that.
Okay. Oh, Mama, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Hey, y'all need to stop putting your family on the internet.
I wasn't trying to. I woke up to this.
Oh, don't talk about me on the internet.
All right, bye, Mom.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Like I said, it's a whole bunch of bullshit. This is the main reason why I told them that I didn't want to be involved in it. I told them, me and my family's friends as a family with them. I don't want none of this crap to be out on the freaking internet. I've been trying to defend Jordy since I've been on the freaking internet on YouTube.
How long has it been on YouTube?
Hundreds of comments that you can read on YouTube where I've went and defended him, even in other people's videos.
They never paid him. He joined the troll Discord. There's a video on it. Interesting.
And they do this to me because they offered to pay me money to spy on the dude, try and catch incriminated stuff about him, and I fucking told him I wouldn't.
Okay.
It's just bullying and harassment is what the hell it is. And this ain't done anything to Jordy. It's just a fucking inconvenience. Having the fucking family bullshit in here.
What did you just say? It's not doing anything to Jordy. It's just an inconvenience. I mean, that just seems unverifiably false. Like, what? It seems like it's fucking with him a lot. I mean, like, he's getting a lot of slack right now.
Even with
which it could be true and deserved, or it could be untrue and undeserved.
Out there, I don't want to say stuff. They can use the content that they created to do other things,
right?
Because people are a fresh canvas and they're impressionable. I'm sorry. Impressionable.
And this is only part one of the video, so I can only imagine the other bullshit they probably got clipped up to fucking put out for the next one. That's why I've said I would come and say what I had to say to you, because I mean I have never, dude. Even when I talked, we haven't
got to the wife stuff yet.
Yeah.
No. Well, how you said, you think Kelly said I smelled and she didn't like being with me.
Right. Well,
that's probably true. I feel like that doesn't sound too far fetched.
Just me kind of trying to be funny with
him. And she's heavy trolling on the dude. She's heavy trolling him. Like, all the time. I bumped into her at Walmart one time and she went on a 20-minute tirade about how he's a fucking disgusting pig and he stinks, and when he sleeps he fucking snores, and how uncomfortable it is fucking living with the guy. Like, like, why in the fuck are you married? I'd say it's about mutual. I feel like the marriage was to get at each other, really. He also wants a little bit of a tax break because if he's married and his wife's there as a burden, he can claim more tax money. Yeah, oh yeah. All she has to do is do a basic 9 to 5 for 25 hours, and he can just piggyback off her health insurance.
9 to 5 for 25 hours. The math doesn't add up.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, he doesn't do anything that wouldn't benefit him. And I was asking him, I was like, hey, what you been into?
And you can tell throughout that whole entire thing that this shit was all clipped up together. It, like I said, man, when you hear it like this, put out there like this, I mean, what am I supposed to say to this?
I can tell you right now, this clip is very convincing. That's why I jumped on this so quickly. Because, like, I'm not a professional editor by any means, but I've been editing video for 14 years.
But they got this,
and I can hear video edits and audio and things like that. And I only caught 2.
Yeah.
So like they clipped this together very, very good.
The first part about
so let me ask you
meeting
this.
at Walmart, I did say that. I was trying to be funny with these guys. Like I said.
Before you address it, let me ask you this. When did this meeting happen?
About 3 months ago. And it wasn't really a meeting. It wasn't really a meeting. No,
I mean 4 hours is a meeting.
I don't fucking. They called me at like 7 or something. I ended up talking to them almost to 11 o'clock.
So you gave them your phone number?
Yeah, they asked for my phone number.
So they have your phone number?
Why'd they? What an idiot.
Well, I don't know nothing about any of this shit.
Why would you give
the person that reached out?
Why would you give somebody on the internet your phone number? This is bizarre. Is this guy fucking stupid?
Give me the intentions that they were trying to help you.
You want me to give you some personal advice?
What?
How would none of this bullshit?
Not that. That's obvious. But like
time.
when you leave today, you might want to change your number.
Yeah.
It's going to cost $30, but it's going to save you a lot of headache. But so why did you feel the need that to put words in my wife's mouth? Because she's upset at you too right now.
Right. Well,
but like she's at work and she can't do nothing about it. But she's got to spend the rest of the day at work being upset.
I guess it's more like that. Like I said, I did say the first part there about our meeting at Walmart, but it was more me trying to be funny with the guys because they were, like I said, they were spinballing all of this shit about you and her marriage.
It's just so interesting because like we're all over the place. Oh, this is out of context. Oh, like I'm dead. Oh, I was just trying to be funny with the guys. Like, why are you like? Okay, so it sounds like this guy doesn't like Jordy and was saying some shit about him and basically calling him an asshole and threw in some other rumors he may have heard. That's the only real like logical conclusion you can come up with at this point.
Yours and her marriage and stuff, and plus I didn't know I was being fucking recorded.
So
you can't be.
So you had almost 2 minutes of my wife. Because the way the video states is that you met my wife by herself at Walmart, which is correct.
Incorrect.
I was with her.
You were with us.
And we talked a total of maybe a minute.
Yeah, a minute and a half. Yeah.
Hurt me if I stand there.
And
yeah, oh yes, it does.
There's literally more time on this video of my wife telling you stuff
than happened. Yeah.
Than
exactly.
actually than the conversation happened. Because last time you came here, we were talking about you doing some work around the house.
Right.
To make some side money and help me out.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't think she was here then either.
No.
So you've only met my wife less than a minute in your life.
Less than a minute. Yeah.
Right. So like, I just want to put that on the table because like to kind of prove like all that was fabrication.
I will, and I'll agree it was. I was, like I said, I was trying to be funny with these guys by fucking saying that shit. It wasn't funny. I shouldn't have said it. Like I said before we started this video, anything, because I did joke around about you a couple times in the conversation, but when you're with 4 people who are constantly doing shit like that, I was kind of doing it because, you know, that's the way.
Why didn't he just leave? What the fuck?
The conversation was going, but like I said, bro. I did
so
not
like,
know
let me
that
ask you this
shit was
question.
gonna be fucking flipped up and put on the fucking internet. I didn't agree to none.
I don't know what the last 2 minutes of this video holds, so let's go to that. But I want to ask you a question. Like, what do you think is going to be in part 2? Because I don't know.
No idea. It could be any fucking thing
you've
because
heard
we talked about Kyle, we talked about the PKA shit, talked about several videos that were out. There's tons of fucking shit. It's 4 hours worth of fucking conversation.
All right, well, let's continue the video. There's only 2 more
Dude,
minutes left.
and she just like was like, well, he's recently he's getting like bad shit because of some dick pic that he supposedly sent to a girl.
This is a PKA shit.
And
PKA.
he was like super uncomfortable about the whole fucking conversation. You could tell because like
they were asking me
she
about the
was
video
trolling,
that I
dude. She was
saw.
trolling him right
Pause the fucking video so we can hear the commentary. What the fuck?
in front of his face. It was
the PKA clip.
It was kind of pathetic in a way, but I mean, if you deserve it, you deserve it. Shit. But she was making light of the dick pics, but in doing so, she was like size shaming him. like right to our face.
And
My
that
wife
was
would never
kind of
say shit
my-
like that. It
kind of
don't
my
matter if I've
impression
got
of the way she
fucking
handled
cocktail
it on the
weenie
live
between my
stream.
legs. My wife,
I wasn't
if you
really
asked her,
saying
she'd
that
be like,
she
"Yeah,
didn't
it's big as my
literally
arm and I
tell me
can't
this
handle
shit
it."
at this
So,
Okay.
My wife is very conservative, and like the reason she didn't back me up was because it embarrassed her, because like she wasn't brought up to talk about those kind
Right,
of things. Like
understandably.
she doesn't
Conservative.
she's conservative. She
No,
doesn't like to. She likes to keep sexual things in the bedroom.
Okay.
Like she doesn't want it, like she dresses conservative, that kind of stuff. And like
Bro,
I was
taking
asking
it
her
over.
to back me up because she knows firsthand what I have, versus, but like she was very shy about it, and that's what ended up happening.
And that was my take on.
I've got a lot of flack for that from a lot of people. There's probably 500,000 worth of views of videos for that.
the time when all that stuff was happening, the rumors with his sister, that was around the time that I
Wasn't
worked
about
with him
you.
at
I don't know
Domino.
what she's.
He delivered pizzas. He didn't make any of them. Yeah, he said he'd
I
never
worked
do
with a guy
that.
named
That
James
he'd
at
rather just
Domino's at
take the
Carolina
boxes to
Forest.
the door and get the tip. Oh shit, dude!
Remember James.
One time I
James
went over there to
was
hang with
arrested
with
for
Kenneth, and I was
missile
helping him install airbags on his truck because he used to have this
And they
fucking
put
S10 with a little
Kenneth
skid plate and
asked
shit.
me about
And
But like
while I was there, I went in the
Bro,
house.
I wish Jordy would have just fucking learned how to use the computer and add another microphone to the fucking thing. This is insane.
It's like,
To
I
use
got
the
fired
bathroom.
about
I wasn't even like
I was the
really
coach.
wanting to go in the house at
It's like this guy has like a fucking translator. I don't understand.
all.
I was the guy.
I went in the house to use the bathroom, and it was like as soon as you open the door, you could
stated I
smell.
didn't make pizzas
Oh,
and stuff like
sweat.
that.
It just
Like,
smells
I
like
had a
sweat.
managerial role.
You know, like a fucking like a locker room at a gym, you know. And he was always in the fucking chair, and he was always up at the computer screen every fucking time I went over there. I mean, I swear to God, I took Kenneth home from a bar. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We went in there, and he was
It was
in the fucking
2004.
chair, like half
Yeah, just
asleep
like I was in
and
med
shit.
class in
Late,
2006.
you know, like he didn't even have a bed in his bedroom for a while, bro.
Yes, it would have been that.
He would sleep
2004.
up in that fucking chair, man.
What, say it again, Wings?
Don't feel ashamed if you got to
And I
jerk
did
your
say
shit to your
this,
sister.
but you know, like I said, they were talking about you think wing smells and all this shit, and I was like, well, you know, one time I went to the house, bathroom, and I said it to make it funny.
I'm a fat guy. Fat guys smell sometimes.
Everybody smells, bro.
Does my house smell right now?
Everybody's house.
But I'm talking about, is it unpleasant?
Not necessarily now.
The guy can't even tell the guy that his house doesn't smell. He's like, "Is my house smell?" And he's like, "Not necessarily." It's like, dude, my house doesn't really smell. Everybody's house has a smell, right? But that doesn't mean that everybody's house smells. Does that make sense? Like, you know, there's times where you might walk into a house and it has a distinct smell. And you might be like, okay, I know what that is. But it's not like fucking, oh, your house smells like garbage. It just smells like Jordy stinks like shit.
And I'll say it again, dude. This shit was clipped out of context.
Okay.
Fucking horribly. Horribly.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and finish up the last minute or so of this.
Oh,
video.
it's sweat. It just smells like sweat. You know, like a fucking like a locker room at a gym. You know,
I converted
and he
it
was
to
always in the
so,
fucking chair, and he was
I
always
have
up at the
actually
computer
watched it.
screen every fucking time I went over there. I mean, I swear to God, I took Kenneth home from a bar. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. We went in there,
Okay.
and he was
Thought you
in the
played World of
fucking
Warcraft, too.
Nope.
chair, like half asleep
What was
and
this?
shit.
Warcraft?
Late, you know,
Played
like
Diablo.
he didn't even have a bed in his bedroom for a while, bro. He would sleep up in that fucking chair, man.
What, say it again, Wings?
Don't feel ashamed if you got to jerk your shit to your sister.
Like I said, I didn't say anything about.
I mean, like the video states that you.
That shit that I was talking about was a whole ass other person, bro. They started talking about sexual shit between you and her, and saying that they thought because you thought the age of consent was such and such that maybe you might have done something to her. And I was like, I don't feel talking about that shit. I was like, I did work with a guy at Domino's, and he fucking was in trouble.
We don't. I don't personally have the full audio, but if the trolls want to debunk this video, release the full audio, all 4 hours.
They'll probably fucking doctor the shit out of that too, just like this video.
They'll probably doctor the shit out of it just like this video. All right, if I was a guessing man, I would guess that means that there's some not great things in there. Like you're already setting the stage to be like, yeah, well, if they did release it, I mean, it's still out of context because like I don't know, man. It sounds like this guy's kind of trying to use the idea of like, oh, doctoring footage as some kind of way to remove himself from any, you know, what he said. It doesn't mean that just because he might have made this claim that Jordy did something inappropriate with somebody of a younger age doesn't mean that it's true. You know what I mean? Because this guy very clearly, to me, doesn't like Jordy, so it's possible that he like passed, like we were saying before, passed around like rumors. I don't really know. A lot of it's up in the air. You know, we obviously should operate in the capacity that's like, you know, innocent until proven guilty. But Jesus Christ.
Got him a bunch of hatchet jobs. The hatchet job. They're trying to force a friend to come forward and fucking say some damning shit about somebody when they sat there for 4 hours.
Bro, if he was actually a friend, why would he be there in the first place? Like, either he's really trying to expose Jordy because he thinks he's like a horrible predator, but he's still his friend, which would be really bizarre, or they are not actually friends and he doesn't like the guy. Like, he seems to not like Jordy, which is fine. I'm sure he's a fucking dickhead, but like this whole friend idea is bizarre.
And ask me questions specifically geared to make me answer a certain fucking way so they can cut my damn words. This is nonsense.
Remember, you did this video before you came over and talked to me.
Yeah, I watched it.
No. You did this interview. You stated you did this interview because Mr. Yellow Dick Swagger's in the comment section of the video stating they know my wife collects rocks, which is
right.
true.
The rocks, the rocks that are on your porch. They asked about.
That's actually something.
My wife collects rocks too. We have they're probably gems. Like, you're supposed to put them outside to recharge or something. It's fucking weird. We don't do that, but okay.
Thing my wife does. She doesn't collect rocks. She paints them to hide them. There's a little game they do around here.
Right.
Well, that's different.
You go hide rocks and people find your rocks and they share them on a Facebook page.
And they asked
Wow,
me
that's
that
even
to prove
lamer.
that I even knew you. And I was like, well, I took a picture of some rocks he has on the porch.
Which, by the way, they've used those pictures to say they've come to my house and stuff like that. Like, they use those pictures and they put assault rifles on them and stuff like that. Of those pictures that you took of like the backyard.
I didn't take.
Jordy hides cats. No, cats hide because they don't know who he is.
Do that with it.
Okay.
Right. Like cats naturally are they don't fuck with new people.
But
I guess.
anyways, but I've been on here about as long.
All
I
right,
have to
man.
get back to work. I hope this helped.
You should probably call Mama if you get a chance.
I probably won't.
Okay.
Just on principle.
All right.
I mean, I know she's mad at me, but there ain't really anything I can do to really explain myself. Got me clipped up like that.
Fuck.
All right, bud.
Okay.
Thank you for coming over.
If nothing else, you didn't ruin Jordy's life, but if nothing else, you guys succeeded in ruining mine. I appreciate it.
I mean, trust me, I'm gonna still get flack for this hard. Like, this is
I
gonna
hope
follow
you
me for
fucking
years.
don't. Nothing said in that interview was true.
Okay. That part might be
Not
true,
this interview, but that interview.
but I don't know.
All right, bud. I'll see you out.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, man. After watching that, I don't know, dude. So everything seems to centralize. This guy seemed to have. Okay. So let's go through this because we have to make assumptions in a little bit here. But this guy sat down with a bunch of Geordie trolls. Now, he probably wasn't super educated on like the specifics on the internet or how any of this may have worked, but he seemed to have sit down for no other reason than to talk shit about Geordie, which is fine. But he's trying to pretend like he didn't. It doesn't really matter if it's in private. Why are you getting together with a bunch of strangers to talk shit about somebody? That doesn't really add up to me. Again, let me get together with a bunch of strangers and talk shit about somebody. No, there's no way that you didn't know that it was malicious. Like, you had to have known that, you know, they didn't like him or whatever. They didn't like Geordie. I don't know if he knew that they were his trolls specifically. They probably knew it had something to do with YouTube. Of course it did, because they were talking about how they would pay him for pictures, and apparently he even took one. Okay, so we have that established. And then what happened is it seems like him and this guy's mom and Geordie's mom and all this other shit, they got pissed and he got a bunch of backlash. I guess this idiot didn't think it was going to go on the fucking internet. I guess he's just absolutely fucking dumb. Okay. And then he was here to just basically say nothing he said was true. It sounds like, though, that from the way that it went, he was saying that Geordie's a bully and he's an asshole, which means he probably doesn't like him. And then he probably or potentially said slanderous things about Geordie, some true, some not, to make him look bad, right? Like, I don't doubt that Geordie smells like shit. That's probably one of the two truths and a lie. You know what I'm saying? Made allegations about his sister. That's possible. It's true. It's also possible it's like slanderous. We don't really know. But the parents, the mom is saying that it's not true, and so is the sister. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not true. But we also kind of have to like operate with the only information we have, you know, and it could be an unfortunate suppression of something like this. But again, innocent until proven guilty. So, but it's one of those things where once you say that this thing happened, people eternally speculate on it. You know, there's really no way to live this down. So yeah, it's pretty shitty. Sounds like this guy's a fucking asshole. Or he was being a truth teller and he should have just fucking doubled down on it and been like, yeah, that's what happened. Okay. All right.
The honest answer to this is
So let's go back a couple seconds.
Because you did delete the VOD. Why exactly did you delete the
Okay.
VOD?
Yeah, why?
the honest answer to this is I have a whole horde of people that try to fuck with me on every level possible. Like just today, I'm literally putting a clown nose on, doing whatever they want in hopes they give my PlayStation account back because they stole my PlayStation account again
Okay.
for the second time in 3 months.
Okay.
And but anything that's somewhat controversial, I delete because I don't
Why?
want them to like mass report me to YouTube and try to take money away from me because they already did it with Twitch, right? They already got.
But that doesn't make that much sense to me because these are allegations that he molested his sister, right? So, and you're like, yeah, I'll just take those down. Why? That seems bizarre to me. Did he? But nothing in there was necessarily damning towards Wings of Redemption either. So I'm really like genuinely curious. Like, what is the fucking motivation? It's very bizarre.
You know how it kind of looks suspicious that original claim that things were taken out of context disappears off the internet. You hide that video. And then doesn't he come forward with a short YouTube video saying that it's all lies?
Well, he does two things. I don't know if you know this. He goes back to the troll Discord and he basically confronts them for like 30 or 40 minutes, and then he makes that video, right? and
see, they can't be Wings. Listen, these two things can't exist. It can't be they talked to me for hours and everything was taken out of context, and then this other video saying I lied about the whole thing.
What you're trying to say is I threatened him with something to get this reaction, and I tell you, I did not.
No. I'm not trying to lead the question. I'm just saying something is wrong with these two statements. In one statement, he's saying the trolls took me out of context. The trolls move my words around, right? The other statement,
what happened? What happened the next day?
Lied.
The next day, the trolls came out with part 2.
Well, what it sounds like when you mix those two things together is that like the trolls took nothing out of context. This guy just said defamatory things, but his whole family is getting involved, so it's like a lie, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's the most probably commonsensical, or the most like that's probably the most realistic take you would have from this.
And they put their voices in, and it disproved that he wasn't getting his sentences weren't getting moved around. Because even in my video, if you go back and watch it, I question him. I'll go, "Hey, how can the trolls take you out of context saying that my wife thinks I smell, and that you
probably do smell though?
Like I was going to give her land to marry me. How's that taken out of context? Like, what question did they ask you to get that answer?" And he didn't have an answer for it. Because I didn't believe I thought he was lying to me the entire time. Because Aaron is what you call a
liar?
Compulsive liar. Like, that's who he is, who he's always been.
It's just
like,
funny
when
somebody's like, this is what you call this. It's usually something that's generally not known. It's like, this is what we call, what is it called? A compulsive liar. It's like, oh, okay. Okay.
Doesn't make sense to the human mind, but some people just are like that. They'll clout chase. He went into this situation having some insider information. The insider information he had ran out, so he started making shit up. And when it caught back up to him,
what's the insider information?
It's what it is. I know that's the whole story.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's a big part of the story that absolutely has to be missing, Wings. And the reason why is because in that short video, if I could finish, in the short video where he says, "Look, man, I lied about everything. I apologize to Wings. I apologize to Wings' family. And I have no reason for it. I just lied." That doesn't, what?
I know it doesn't make sense, but like, there's been teenagers that killed people just because they wanted to thrill to kill. They didn't need a motive.
What? I don't understand. This is all over the place. The most, to me, the biggest motivation is probably because like he doesn't like Jordy. It seems like he thinks he's a fucking asshole. Like that reads to me. There's no way that anybody would go on like a call for 4 hours with people to talk shit about somebody unless they genuinely didn't like that person. Like, I don't understand. That's the most reasonable one. I mean, even being there, he didn't really seem to care for Jordy. It's just more that their moms were friends.
Like, he's
Is
just
there
a liar.
any reason? Is there any reason to believe that like he has it out for you for some reason? Maybe
I
that's
don't
why he would
honestly.
do
I don't even believe he has it out for me. I don't think he does.
Well,
Like
then
I
you're
think
kinda
if
just dumb.
I seen him in Walmart tomorrow, he would try to be friendly with me.
Of course you would.
this. So
Now
you think he
would.
was just trying to get clout?
Correct.
But that doesn't seem like a motivator. Did he have his own channel? Is this Aaron guy have his own channel on YouTube? Is this like a fucking Aaron the neighbor? Does he have an actual YouTube channel? Like, what would be the motivation for this? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
Something is clearly wrong because there's no way he would get clout.
Somebody said he was calling himself Wings of Revenge, so that's something. Is that true? Is that verified? Because, I mean, like, yeah, he might just think Wings is a fucking dickhead or something.
He was shocked, right, that the video even aired. He thought he was speaking to those guys privately, right? Wasn't his initial response to Wings, like, shocked that there was even a video, that this was up in the public?
Right, but did you not see the his Discord name at the time was Wings of Revenge?
Okay.
And he posted. He basically went to their Discord and begged them for that audio chat. And he had this whole list of things that he knew on me. Which,
So then why do you... Okay, maybe it is motivated to try to like start his own channel. Does he actually have a channel called Wings of Revenge? Maybe he was trying to get in on the troll. Okay, interesting.
most of that list was 80% true. They don't. Which one wasn't true? There's like one particular.
I need to see the list again.
Yeah, but let's say like 80% of that list is true.
But then there were the things that weren't true.
Then there was a
that
couple.
were
There was a
really
couple
big
that
things,
there was a
like-
couple really big things that weren't true, and that
Okay.
got him in the door to get that little conversation. So to say that he didn't know he was being recorded, I think is being disingenuous.
True. Yeah,
What do
I
you
agree with
think
that.
of this theory that has been floating around online, which I guess I'm one of the people that really believe and kind of talked about this first, that because your mother and his mother are good friends, after this came out, that your mother went and called his mother and said, "You better have your boy come out and say this is all lies."
I can't disprove that theory, but but
Did your mother put pressure on his mother to fix the
course.
situation?
no, not that I know of.
Bullshit. All right, so like, yes, probably it fucked up with the family dynamic. That doesn't mean that the we'll say like the pedo allegations are true just because there was pressure to do that. Or whatever it was, like the molestation allegations that it doesn't make those untrue. It just means that the mom was probably like, "What the fuck? This is my friend. You're talking this, that, the other thing," and she's calling me and saying that,
Because like he had already went back to the troll Discord and basically said he was lying before the family even got involved, like that next day. Because let me go back and look at my stuff here. Because his mother texted me.
Apologizing, right? How does
Right.
his mom know about it? Did he tell his mom, or did your mom tell his
Eventually,
mom?
eventually, it all came to a head. But this is because he went back into the troll Discord before he made that little video. If my timeline's correct, it might not be. Messenger.
okay.
It was on Messenger. This was Thursday at 7. No, Thursday at no. This was Tuesday at 7:25 p.m. Thursday is when I accidentally called. Tuesday at 7:25 p.m. So I don't know where the timeline ends up, but like I know it seems like there should be a story where like, yo, I'm gonna shatter your kneecaps or something, but no, dude, the guy's just fucking Looney Tooney. He's like you can go. The best success is like getting him to talk because like the man would used to chase lawnmowers as a kid, and he got half his fucking foot cut off because he fell in front of a lawnmower. He just done dumb shit like.
Well, I mean, you do talk a lot of bad stuff about this guy, but you also told us that you invited him into your home to fix your floors. So it's like, which one is it?
I mean, let's be cordial. Like I had nothing bad to say about him. Like I'm talking all this bad stuff now because he wanted to come out lie about me. Like this is the kind of stuff I wouldn't talk about if you're not over here trying to say that my whole marriage is a sham, for example, and that you had 30-minute conversation with my wife and how she told me she hated living with me, which easily is disproved. Like the whole sister thing is easily disproved.
It doesn't make sense for some neighbor to
Well,
just.
I mean, that's one of the unfortunate things. It's like that whole sister thing isn't really easy to disprove. That's the problem, and none of these allegations are really easy to disprove. All you really do is take people's words for it, and then that it becomes like a very interesting situation there. Where a lot of people are like, once the allegation is made, people aren't super like open to no longer believing the allegation.
Come out who definitely knows you and then just
Right, but like
come out with
using
so many
using the term
details and
neighbor
just-
again, I can promise you I've met this guy less than 15 times in my life.
What?
I've had more conversations with you.
That doesn't even seem true. I thought that they were like forced friends. They would have to like hang out with each other. Okay, whatever.
Than I have with him in my life.
I think arguing over whether or not he's your neighbor is kind of ridiculous.
Well, I'm arguing over the semantics. Like neighbor automatically makes somebody picture somebody close that you're like, hey, they'll pick the mail up for you, that you're cordial with throughout the day. This person has large gaps of my life he's not in. There was periods of time where he was there.
In internet terms, when we're saying neighbor, a lot of times we're referring to just someone in the same city, right? Because when you're on the internet, we're talking about the goddamn world. Like, if you go down to the local Piggly Wiggly, you'll probably run into this guy, right?
No.
You just made a reference about
Anyhow, so he comes out and he says, well, everything's a lie, all right? And then he completely leaves it. And then he completely leaves the internet, all right? And he says he has no reason for it. What happens after that? What's your mom saying? What's his mom saying? Why haven't we seen this guy online ever again? Where is he?
Well, I don't know where he is. Like he blocked me the second he left my house. Like I only had one access to him, which was Twitter, and he blocked me the second he left the house, which he admits in one of the videos that he blocked me. I think it was a Discord call. Oh, I don't think he blocked me. He deleted his Twitter. Is what had actually happened. So that was my only access to him. So I asked my mother yesterday. And my mother refuted one of his points. Like, he said his mother was at my grandmother's viewing, and my mother was there, and his mother was not. But like, okay. That's all my mother's actually talked to me about it.
Okay. So he blocks you. I mean, so it seems like he's mad at you.
I think it's more like I don't think he really.
I don't think it seems like he's mad. If after this whole thing is over, the guy blocked him, it's probably because he wants to disconnect from this entire situation and just not exist anymore. Like that's more likely than he's mad at him. I wouldn't say that. Okay.
Realize what he stepped in, because like I think a lot of people would agree that the people that follow me are kind of deranged, and like these are the kind of people that will create drama out of thin air.
Okay.
Did you threaten him with a charge? What is this charge that he was referring to? I seen in one of the troll videos.
Well,
Aaron was.
The trolls were threatening him with a charge because, like, what you want to talk about is my sister's stuff. Because, like, when I was messaging my sister came out and showed me some text messages that he had sent her when she was underage, and they were very like sexually explicit.
Okay.
And
how old is Wings of Redemption's sister versus him? Do we have like a number on that? He's 35. He's 35. How old is his sister compared to him? That part's probably going to be impossible to find. I don't know, dude. I don't know if we're going to be able to find that. Yeah, I don't know if we can.
On Taylor. I didn't do anything with that. And nothing came of it anyway, because Taylor accepted his apology when he apologized in the video. And nobody's actually got in contact with Aaron. Because Aaron, honestly, I don't even think he has a cell phone. Like, he's not very well off money-wise.
Now, what did Aaron do with your sister? You said that he was texting her when she was underage, but what was he texting her?
It's sexually explicit stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to go out there and drag stuff like that. It's stuff he shouldn't have been texting her at that time.
This man publicly came out and, according to you, said a bunch of lies about you, but you won't tell the internet what he 100% did, which you know, according to you, that he 100% did. Why? Why protect him?
Well, it sounds like when from watching that other video, the most obvious motivation would probably be because he does like his family doesn't want to have anything to do with social media. And like he doesn't want to go into specifics to like respect that. Like I don't think that's unreasonable.
It's not protecting him. It's letting it die. It's wanting peace. Like he's done bad shit to me, but he's out of my life now. I don't have to deal with him anymore. He said he was sorry. We accept the apology. Moving on.
Is there any truth?
What's that?
Is there any truth to the comment that he says you made about your sister regarding like her period or anything like that?
No. I mean, I posted a tweet just this morning. I don't know if you guys seen it.
But you do know that, like all the trolls, right? Like all the people online that harass you without seeing proof what Aaron actually did, they're not going to believe your story that he did those things.
They don't have to believe my story. I mean, like, him doing that, it means nothing to what he did to me. That's just something.
What other dirt? What other dirt do you have on Aaron?
Nothing.
Because you know,
I didn't have that dirt until
dirt
later
too,
on.
Aaron. Jesus
But like, if you look at,
didn't you mention something about drugs with Aaron?
no, he said I did drugs, which I've never done drugs in my life, and you know this. I've hung out with you while there was like alcohol and drugs present, and I didn't do drugs.
I can't see you doing drugs. Okay, interesting.
Like,
All right, so what does your sister feel about all this?
she doesn't like it. Like, she doesn't like being associated with any of this, and that's why she took such a hard line, like wanting to go like press charges and stuff on him.
Are you not talking about the stuff that happened with him and your sister because she doesn't want to talk about it?
I don't want to drag my family into this stuff, honestly. Like, I'm so used to dealing with the hate, I'll deal with it. Like, but it's not my family's job to do this.
Tipster, let me ask you a question. Am I crazy here? But is it possible, and I'm asking Tipster, and Wings, you can respond after Tipster gives his answer. All right. But am I crazy for thinking that this guy came out, aired a bunch of private stuff about Wings, all right? And, you know, hypothetically speaking, maybe Wings or Wings' sister or Wings' mom, somebody in the family said, hey, you text me when I was underage, and you said this stuff. You better go up there, and you better say that this was taken out of context. You better make a video saying it was all lies, or we're going to press charges on you, Aaron.
I mean, it's possible, but I would be concerned with promoting a conspiracy theory, right? Like, it's totally possible, or that might just be an absolute conspiracy theory, right? Like, this is one of those things, and it was coming to what I was saying before, is that, like, it seems like Keemstar might believe, you know, some of the allegations, and I understand why, because when you get this deep into this shit, you know, it's hard to disprove when somebody calls you, like, you know, some kind of an abuser. But like, it's very unlikely. I mean, I don't know. I think that the most like logical thing here, the most fucking reasonable thing to think, is that this guy doesn't like Wings, and so he said a bunch of shit that he might have heard about him, and not necessarily verifiable. And they kind of just steamrolled from there.
So you're asking if like they use that as like a threat against him?
Yes, that's what I'm asking. Is that a possibility?
I mean, of course it's a possibility.
It's a little,
but I mean, we're just speculating, obviously.
Yeah, true.
Because it seems like Aaron has run scared from the internet, completely leaving the internet. He doesn't want to talk about this ever again. He is terrified. Terrified of what?
You're acting like I'm who's that guy from Casino? The pusher. I don't know. I'm not some enforcer. I'm not out here threatening to bust a man's kneecap. I've never been that way. But if you go and look at the troll Discord call, the trolls bring up the sister stuff, and he was unaware of it at that time. You can see he's puzzled when they're asking him about it, because he didn't even know about the sister stuff when he was doing these apology videos.
Well, Wings, did you, your sister, or your mother, anybody in your family, threaten him with the sister stuff?
Yep,
did you talk to him about the sister stuff?
I didn't even, like, if you've seen the text messages that I read out to you, I didn't even have to like overly convince him to come over. He came over because he felt like he did me wrong, and he backtracked on everything, and he doubled down.
I didn't have to overly convince him. I feel like that's not true, because the most reasonable assumption is that the guy knew what he was getting into to a reasonable degree. His name was Wings of Revenge. Okay, so this guy's name was Wings of Revenge. He had a bunch of dirt on Jordy. He went to the house. He did take pictures. He took pictures of the front of the house to confirm that it was him, all to potentially platform him on either some kind of new career online, or because he just fucking hated Wings a lot, which makes sense, because Wings probably is a fucking dickhead bully. And then after everything blew up, he made some allegations about Wings, and then it blew up family-wise, and his mom yelled at him, and now he's doing what his mom wants him to do. Now, that doesn't mean that everything he said was true. You know, it gives him enough credibility to be able to assert pretty much anything. He's like, well, I knew Wings. I hung out with him a reasonable amount, and you can basically say whatever you want at that point. And like, who's gonna, you know, it comes out as like, you know, for the person that might be promoting the information, they get to kind of go like, well, this was somebody that's credible, that knows Wings, and then they get to play plausible deniability, be like, well, it wasn't me who said it, you know.
For some reason, people think that I have to hold some kind of dirt on him. Maybe he got caught doing wrong with his hand in the cookie jar, and he wanted to make it right. Some people go for that adrenaline, man. Like,
Wings, at one point on stream, you commented that you had an ace up your sleeve regarding Aaron.
That what we
Was
just
that-
talked- that was the
So that was the stuff about. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
But
Okay.
that sounds like a threat. That sounds like, a, hey boy.
I'll be honest with
you-
the ace of your sleeve part. It kind of
again, but
like-
he had already apologized and everything before you knew any of this.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna but like if you were in my situation and somebody's out here making these claims that you were like sexually explicit with your sister or saying sexually explicit things to your sister when she's underage, would you not want her to like
When she's underage? I mean, like, I guess, yeah. I mean, I how old is the sister? We really need that information. Would be phenomenal. How old is the sister compared to Jordy? It's interesting though, because like the only reason I'm laughing is it's because he's like, oh, sexually explicit with my underage sister. It's like, okay, well, it's still weird regardless of whether she's underage or not. But you know,
did snup it in the butt right away?
Snup it in the
And
butt.
you have plan
Did
A,
you
plan B, plan C.
Did you say snup it in the butt?
Did snup it in the butt right away.
Okay, fair enough.
And you have plan A, plan B, plan C.
Just snup it in the butt. All right.
I think I've exhausted most of my questions on the subject. If I think of something else, I'll bring it up.
But I'm saying
have
I'm
a
asking you
few
that
other-
question if you were in that situation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you ask the question again?
If you were in my position and you had a guy just come out of randomly out of left field that knew was an acquaintance through most of your life, and you just started Keemstar did this, Keemstar did that, and you were appalled by this, would you not have a plan A, plan B, plan C if shit fell through? Like if he didn't want to be cordial, there was the ace up the sleeve, but I didn't know about it at the time. But my sister gave it to me after the fact.
Oh, I understand, and of course, to answer your question, yes, you would strategize on how to deal with that situation, and I think anyone would. But it just, man, something just doesn't seem right because there is no reason for this person to do this. There's no clout gained. There's no financial benefit. There is nothing. He even says in this video, I had no reason to lie. I just did it, and I'm sorry. I don't even have a reason. Like, that is the most puzzling thing about all of this. Him saying that over and over again.
Well, his mother even said he was lying. I pulled my mother in on the video and asked her some of the questions, and she said he was lying. I've disputed some of the things he said, and they were all lies. Like, he had little truths hidden throughout, but like the big stuff are all lies. Like, it's just what it is. I mean, there's not more to it.
I don't really have any more questions about that, but I did want to talk a little bit about your career and stuff. You've been doing pretty much the same thing for what? Streaming and just trying to make ends meet with the donations and dealing with the trolls. How long has that been going on? You'd say 5 years?
The trolls, 2017, December 2017.
Okay,
It's
so
5 years-ish.
I'm sure someone has said this to you. Definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different outcome. At one point, you had a podcast that was competing with PKA. Does that still exist?
No,
Have you thought about doing a podcast?
not really. Like, podcasts have done nothing but get me in trouble. Like, all this troll stuff almost spans from my time on PKA. Just like, in PKA, my job, I was the guy that said the outlet.
Is Keemstar offering a podcast with this guy? Bro, this is a really weird thing, though, by the way. This is really weird, because I'm trying to really educate myself on why Wings behaves in the way that he does. And the reason I'm saying that is because, like, yeah, there's a level of truth to what Keemstar is saying. Like, yeah, why you're just doing the same thing over and over again. Why not try to do something else, or in some capacity, or expand, make a podcast, do this, do that? Why? And then he says, well, I don't want to get in trouble. It's like, okay, because he says dumb shit. Now, that's quite possible, but it's interesting. Why not just do your best to not say dumb shit? You know what I mean? That would be my advice. So,
Land of shit in PK. And like, I don't know. Like, you get a lot of people.
I mean,
or maybe is it because he feels like he couldn't compete with PKA, and that would make him feel like he would like fucking hurt his ego or something?
you get a lot of people that didn't know me back then that assume that I'm like the Southern Hitler or some shit like that.
Well, I've said many outlandish things in my career. We started YouTube around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I just embraced it. I just kept moving on. I didn't play victim.
You don't have to embrace it. I'll just say, because I've said some dumb shit too. You could just like you could change. But okay.
I didn't block people. I mean, I do block some people if they're being harassive, but I just focus on
I'm about to say
my
all that
job
gnome
and my...
shit. I'm sure you blocked some people on that gnome shit.
Yeah. I mean, you do here and there, but
you get tired of hearing it. It's
do
not that you're mad at it. It's like, all right, whatever. I'm done with this.
But you do it at such an extreme level that it like turns you into a target.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I don't even do it at extreme level anymore. My mods are trained like a hit squad.
Well, yeah, but you're still doing it basically.
But
Have you
I
thought-
don't think the blocking is what makes people like this though.
Yeah.
I would put a challenge out, right, just to see if things change. And Tipster, I want your opinion on this as well, because I think this would work. I want to put challenge on you to not block anyone. Let anybody say anything in the chat. You know, if they break YouTube's rules by saying something racist or something like that, of course you have to block them, right? But for someone coming in hating on you, talking crap about you, making fun of you, right? No block. Let people get it out of their
Have you ever
system.
seen my chat without any other?
I mean, not for nothing, but like, yeah, if Jordy stopped caring about the trolling would go down, or if he embraced the trolling. Like, bro, honestly, what I think all Jordy has to do is make his own fucking memes on his channel about the dumb shit that he's done. Like, that's really all it would take. I mean, people would start going like, oh, okay. Like, start doing that, bro. Start releasing, like, your own shit. Like, your own fucking videos about how, like, your weird, like, videos. You make your own videos trolling yourself, basically. Like, do, like, I showed speed kind of a thing. Like, embrace the troll. You know what I mean?
Any of the guides on it, it's a mess. You can't even. It's not. You can't even consider it chat no more. It's just a moving blur of wall words.
My chat's the same way.
Yeah.
You know, people bring up that I called Alex the N-word, you know, in 2010 nonstop. You know, like every dumb thing that I've ever done or said always gets thrown in my face. I mean, I deal with the same thing, but I let people talk, right? I don't ban them. I let people air it out, because after people air it out, it's like, okay, they aired it out. Now what? You know, they might
Let me
scan
ask
it.
you
They
this:
might
what
say it a
about
couple.
somebody in chat brought up a good point? What about people that just spam the same shit like shout out Lummox? Like, so people just can't talk. They're just spamming shout out.
Well, then you can ban them.
Shit a lot.
Spamming is
One of my rules in my streams, right, when I have streams, is like, dude, you can't put giant blocks in the chat, because then you're ruining the real estate for everyone else. You got to let everyone talk, right? So if it's the spam stuff where someone's putting giant blocks, or there's like, they'll make like a Nazi symbol out of a bunch of characters and then post it,
ASCII art.
like stuff like that, you got to ban, right? But I'm saying let people just voice their opinion. Let the trolls have a real voice. Let them really criticize you. Let them speak, right? And let that go on for at least a month, for 30 days. And then what I would also do if I were you is I would launch a podcast. I would find other people, and if you say something stupid, you say something stupid. Who cares? There is an entire market out there, all right, of people hating on Wings of Redemption, all right? You need to get a troll mindset and partner with those people that you might think that they hate your guts and they want to ruin your life. And, you know, there's many people that hate my guts and want to ruin my life too. I look at them as my partner. That is my marketing team out there that are going to talk about me no matter what. They're going to talk about me everywhere, right?
I mean, but my marketing team still fucks me over. Like, I got 3,000 viewers on my stream tonight, and I made, you know, good money, but at what cost? I've lost my PlayStation account. So it's like, what am I going to do for tomorrow's stream or the stream after that?
Make a new PlayStation account. You can't sit there and say, I lost my PlayStation account.
Yeah, but that's throwing money away. That's throwing money away.
Yeah,
like,
but listen, you can't.
Yeah, but you can also quite literally write that off on your taxes. I'm just telling you, you can do that.
Dwell on the little money if you're focused on the big money. All right. I don't. Somebody hacked one of my Call of Duty account, and I spent a good 2 minutes being mad about it. And then I said, fuck it, made a new one. Like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm sure I could, you know, cry on the internet, tag somebody, get a hold of someone over it. But like, what's the point, right? At the end of the day, my happiness
I still try to get it back,
is
but
by far the most important thing.
Well, that's one of those things is like when somebody does that to you too, you need to pretend like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Like that's a problem too, because then people know they're getting to you. And you definitely don't want to do that. You definitely don't want people to know that they've like kind of won in that capacity. So instead of bitching about it and crying, like, yeah, of course you have every reason to be fucking upset, but like, shut the fuck up, honestly, and don't let it affect you. Pretend like it didn't happen. That's it, you know. And you try to get it back, but pretend like it didn't happen.
If I were you, I would team up with these people. If they're making a video,
I wouldn't team up with those people necessarily, the hackers. But actually, maybe team up with the people like those people who are making clips of you. Yeah, why don't you pay them for the clips and put them up on your fucking channel? Like I'm gonna get fucking cucked. Make a Wings of Redemption fucking clips channel, and like have somebody who's like, bro, I wish I had somebody. Oh, I didn't know this would happen. I wish I had somebody who would fucking sit in my chat and get clips, you know, and just be like, hey, bro, make the clips, and I'll pay you a certain amount of money per clip or something along those lines. Stop using that ability. It's not the worst idea in the world, bro. Really not.
on you, that's a positive. You know, you're being talked about.
Yeah,
You know, go on a podcast.
Dude, like, I think me losing Twitch was a huge, like, game changer for me, because that was like 30 or 40,000 dollars a year, just gone. Just boom, right off the top. And, like, I don't make Keemstar money, right? I make, like, I make like 35 now.
That's more of a reason why you
right?
should.
I used to make like 60. And it's like, it makes you scared to do things. Like if you joke with these people, they keep going further and further and further. And like if you don't give them content at all, they go.
He used to make $60,000 a year. What is he doing wrong? I feel like he should have been making more than that. What the fuck? That seems weird to me. Yeah, why doesn't he make a fucking podcast, bro? People would probably still... Bro, you literally... It's Wings of Redemption, bro. The Wings... Like... I don't know, dude. I don't know if it would be good to do it with the trolls, but it's not a bad idea to do it.
Go harder and harder and harder. It has to be like a happy medium you walk with them, and it's hard to walk the happy medium.
Just go beast mode. I don't know why you're attempting to be a good guy.
I am a good guy, though. Like,
okay.
Like,
But
you met me in person multiple times, and I've never been like this outlandish personality I put out on stream. Have I not?
I don't think that you're evil. I don't think that you're a horrible person, right? But you have bad qualities just like I do, just like anyone.
Right, but
Your rage,
every time you messed with me in life, was I raging in real life? I was nice, I was cordial. It's not a face I put on.
Wings,
I get mad at Call of Duty.
If you're playing Call of Duty and your team rushes and keeps dying, right? Why are you stopping yourself from throwing the fucking controller through the goddamn window? Like, dude, you are an entertainer. Grab the controller and throw it through the fucking window.
Well, I can't even play Call of Duty anymore. They have aimbots and riot shields standing in front of me.
But that's what I'm
saying. Bro, Jordy, bro, I don't understand. This guy, like, never matured out of, like, 20 years old. Bro, I don't know. It's just so weird. It's just so bizarre. I don't understand. It's like I'm focusing on like I can't play Call of Duty because the people have aimbot. Like, what are you talking about? That's such a weird thing to say. What the fuck? He probably just sucks at it now, and he just says, "Oh, aimbot."
I'm saying you're restricting yourself, trying to be this good guy on camera 24/7 because you're worried that you're gonna get clipped. Be fucking clipped. Be the authentic Wings that we all know. I know fucking Wings of Redemption. If he's pissed off in the game, he fucking breaks shit. Stop restricting.
Just don't say the N-word. That's probably some good advice there for you. You know what I mean? Like, because I know that you might be prone to that.
Yourself and just be you, because you are entertaining. You are fucking entertaining. Just be you.
I mean, he's not wrong, Wings, in the sense that, like, you know how many like streamers have blown up for being like,
I know,
getting bad clips of them on like LSF or something. Like,
I know, but like I get bad clips too. Like I got on fucking, I'm a total piece of shit because I abused my wife. Like, oh my lord.
But you don't, and you're not getting arrested. Who cares? Bro, my Twitter account got hacked in, what was it, 2011, 2012. The hacker's up there saying that he like beats my girlfriend, keys her face, all this shit. Woody's gamer tag, still to this day, tells everyone that I fucking key my wife. My girlfriend came out, she made a video on Drama Alert saying like, this is not true.
My Twitter got hacked and you said I sold it to people.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I said that. Wait, I did say that?
Yeah, you said that. Like, that's where everybody always goes back to it. You sold your Twitter for money. I'm like, no, fuck it did. It got hacked.
Well, the point is that the truth is the only thing that matters. And as long as you know the truth, why would you care that someone online is lying about you, making up shit? I don't give a flying fuck, right? It's not hurting my career. When I upload a video on YouTube, 600,000 people are seeing it. When I upload it on Snapchat, 3 million people are seeing it. There ain't a goddamn thing that can be done. Right now in this troll chat, there's this guy called Britbong, right? Britbong is a serial, like, he you know, allegedly swats people, doxes people, allegedly spams CP and Discords, allegedly does all these horrible things. And allegedly, I keep saying allegedly, so I can't give him any ammo, he was taking down a bunch of Twitter accounts, getting them banned of YouTubers that weren't verified, right? So, you know, I went and spent the entire day talking to important people on all these platforms, showing proof of what he was doing, and he got deplatformed everywhere. And I went and fired up my live stream at the time and said, Britbong, it was me. It was me. That guy, who's one of the most scary people in the world, like online, that people are so afraid of, hasn't been able to do a goddamn thing. Did I get swatted to pizzas come to my house? Yeah, but that happens all the time. He hasn't been able to do a goddamn thing to me. Nothing. In fact, he was able to convince...
If you're gonna swap, if you're gonna, like, well, don't swap me, but if you're gonna send something to my house, don't make it a pizza, bro, because I can't eat that. I'm fucking diabetic, and I'm trying to get healthier. So if you do anything, like, don't send me that kind of stuff. Maybe send me, like, a soul bowl. Like an acai bowl, or I actually want an acai. I think I'm gonna get an acai bowl today. Or you know, maybe a barbell, or an Olympic plates or something. Don't send me salad. I don't like salad. Salad tastes like my dog's ass. You know, send me something like that.
This guy who is my arch enemy, H3, that he's this poor victim, and the Keemstar got him taken down for no reason or whatever.
think I asked you that the other
No.
day. You didn't do it. You didn't answer. There's a
No,
rumor
no, I
that you
did not.
that you took her to Pound Town.
That is not true. I did not.
Tell the
fuck
truth,
you with
Keem.
mine.
Tell the truth.
But my point is that
Bro,
Brit
I gotta say though, the fucking Ethan, the Ethan Keemstar drama is fucking so cringy, bro. Like honestly on both sides. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just so fucking, it's so weird.
Brit Bong follows me around, right? Talks about me 24/7. His whole job, his whole career on YouTube was that he is a troll. But he got trolled by Keemstar so bad and he's so butthurt that every single day I live in his brain rent free. In the middle of this conversation, he is in the troll. He is in the troll Planet Wings Discord spamming, talking shit about me right now. I have fucked this guy's life up mentally, physically, everything.
Holy
And there isn't
shit.
a goddamn thing he can fucking do about it other than cry. So if you have these enemies, right?
Yeah.
Point is, if you have these enemies, all they can do is talk. All they can do is talk.
They do so much
Why
more
are you-
talking, though. They do so much more than talking. Like you realize I have an FBI case right now with some of the shit they've done.
Okay, I got an FBI case too, of someone swatting me every single day.
Right.
But,
So between
like-
the swatting and the TikTok shit, and it's like, dude, I don't like talking to fucking cops. But
Just be you. Just be you. Stop trying to be a good guy. Stop trying to not get clipped. Get clipped.
again, I'm also on heavy anti-anxiety meds. Like I said before, like I was so overwhelmed today, I wanted to cry and I couldn't. I physically couldn't.
Okay.
Like
That's the other thing. I've seen so many times on stream where you're crying and you're pleading with these people to leave you alone. What are they doing? They're just talking shit. You can't.
It's not-
I don't mean to pick on you, but you're a grown man. You can't cry.
This last part is so much more interesting than the allegations. To be honest with you, like this is much more interesting than the allegations.
Nick tipped $1. I'll clip for you. Be kiss and hugs.
What is this? Let's see.
This is not
my
true.
Twitter got
This is
hacked,
not
and you
happening.
said I sold it to people.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I said that. Wait, I did say that.
Yeah, you said that. Like that's where everybody always goes.
That's funny, but you gotta get you gotta get some good. We gotta get some of the funny ones of me. You know what I mean? You gotta get some good, interesting, funny clips of me. You know what I mean?
Over people on the internet talking shit.
Well, it'd be easier if I was signing $50 million deals. I'm not.
What?
Uh,
Well, I mean, I think what
that's-
Keemstar is saying is that like the reason that he can sign big deals is because he embraces the free advertising of like of like people hating on him. I think that's the point that he's trying to make. It's not like he didn't start like with the success. Whether you like Keemstar or not, he's successful. And part of that is he allows people to, talk shit about him because he knows it's just going to end up being good for him. Because if you bitch about some bullshit that he did, what makes him a bad person, there's going to be a lot of other people who are like, I like bad people, so I'm going to watch this. You know what I mean? That's pretty much how it works. So, yeah, I mean, he's not wrong about that whole thing. Just saying.
The other thing that got you in trouble too is constantly talking about your finances and how you're struggling or whatever.
I'm not struggling though. Like I even say I'm not struggling. They don't report that.
He just said that he was struggling like 5 minutes. What are you, fucking stupid? He was just talking about how he went from like 60K a year to like 35K a year. That sounds like struggling to me, bro. What the fuck? So bizarre. This guy's so weird. I don't understand. Like, what's happening in this guy's head? It doesn't make sense to me.
I'm talking back in the day.
Yeah.
And in fairness to Wings, they're not just talking shit. They actually are doing things that impact him IRL. you know?
Mm-hmm. Like people showing up to my house wanting to fight and shit. Like I know Keemstar is like, well, videotape that dude. It's like somebody showed up to the house wanting to fight you.
I mean, maybe.
Like, man, that's not who I am. I'm not trying to fight no like military recruiter.
But imagine if you did have a video of that, right?
Yeah.
Of him showing up to your house, right? And him out there, and you call the cops, have him arrested or something. You get to upload that to YouTube, and that's like 1 million views.
Dude, he could have had his own like Boogie Frank Hassel moment.
Oh my god.
I just don't get it, Wings. Around the name Wings of Redemption is a fucking circus. Why are you not monetizing the circus? It makes no goddamn sense.
He's not wrong.
I don't know, man. It is getting late here. So you more
All
questions?
right, well, I'll let you go, but you should let me do a documentary. I'll come there.
I told
I'll
you,
stay.
Ford Raptor.
I'll stay in your town for 1 week. We'll film every single day, behind the scenes, Wings of Redemption, the
That'd be
real
boring
story.
as fuck.
Wait,
Won't be
what's the
boring.
deal? What's
Like
the deal?
my life is boring, dog. Like my life is boring as fuck.
What was the deal to do the documentary, Wings?
He wants a Ford Raptor.
Buy him one, Keem.
It's $100,000. No,
You
You can do it. Go for it,
I
dude.
get you one right now.
What a dude. He's so dumb. Because you know that he's setting this unrealistic standard Like, he's setting that just so that so that Keemstar won't do it. It wouldn't be worth that much. But bro, dude, this Jordy's a fucking moron. He's an absolute fucking dunce, honestly. He's a fucking idiot. Like, Keemstar's like, yeah, I will go out there, and I want to go out there, and I want to make a documentary on you and your fucking dying career. And he's like, no, give me $100,000. This motherfucker that makes $35,000 a year, admittedly, wants a $100,000 car. Well, now I know why you're doing so poorly. You're a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking moron. He's so stupid. I don't understand. Keemstar's literally giving him like free advice that actually probably work, and he's just being so dumb about it. So stupid. This guy's an idiot.
For 72,000.
Wings, I'm not getting you a Ford Raptor. I'll tell you that much.
I tried, Wings. I tried.
I know.
But if
Okay, give me a minute.
if we make a good piece of content, I'm obviously going to try to make as much money as I can on it, and I probably will make somewhere around $20,000 at least. You know, and I told you I would give you 10% of the royalties that come in,
that
but I just need
$2,000?
full creative. $2,000. But hey,
Yeah, $2,000 to do nothing except exist. That's a good deal. That's actually not that bad. Like, what the fuck? That's actually not bad. Oh, $2,000, bro? Are you kidding me? Like, that sounds pretty good to me. I mean, I make more than Wings makes. So why are you scoffing at $2,000? What kind of a fucking moron are you?
At the end of the day, I'm going to put you in front of millions of people, guaranteed.
Again, like
I actually think it's a good idea.
I'm not trying
to
to get famous or rich off this anymore. I'm just trying to get by.
That's not how that works, dude. This isn't how it works, though. You don't. That's not really how. I mean, like, listen. I don't think that you should compromise your values to get famous and rich, but like, it doesn't work like that. I mean, these are the types of careers that don't have a whole lot of longevity, bro. Like, you kind of have to do your best to establish yourself, and he's already moved. Like, dude, this guy's 35, so I don't know that there's a massive market anymore for like the complete like fucking no brain trolling bullshit or whatever. Like, I don't think that there's the market for like a 35-year-old throwing shit and stuff. Maybe there is. I might be wrong, but it looks at it more as like you're pathetic. Whereas like if the 20-year-olds, 17, 16, like 18, 20-year-olds do that kind of shit, it's like funny because they're young, dumb kids fucking around. You get older, not so much. But this guy still has enough of a career to do something. Like, you kind of have to just like evolve with the platform. It's just, I don't know, dude.
That's where I'm happy with. Like, I don't like this
like
shit.
he's got like, if he doesn't do anything, I mean, how much longer? Truthfully, how much longer do you think that he like actually has until like his career is dead? Like, realistically speaking, not that much.
Like the spotlight and people lying about me, and you know, I don't like people dragging my name through the mud, calling me a pedophile and shit. Like, I'm none of these things.
Well, I wouldn't be defending yourself 24/7. I would embrace who you really are, be authentic, stop being worried about being clipped, just be you, and have fun with it. You know, have the trolls, partner with them. You know, they have to upload Wings videos every day to make money. Give them Wings videos to upload every day to make money. It comes right back to you. More people come in your stream. More people watch your stuff. More people click on the goddamn YouTube ads. More people are donating. Well, actually, more people would donate it if you'd let everyone in there. Let everyone talk.
I actually do think that is a good idea, because like I used to be like you when I was a smaller creator. Anytime anybody would come and chat and talk shit, I'd block them. But like I started, like Keem said, kind of embracing it. And like what I do is like when they come to chat to talk shit, I just kind of play along with it. And I can't tell you how many of those people have become like loyal, longtime fans. They came into my chat to troll me, and now they're like regular viewers. So like that's actually not a bad idea to kind of just like embrace it.
I'll tell you what, if a new person comes over to a Wings of Redemption stream and they can't type in the chat for 5 months, guess what? You just lost a potential new viewer.
True. Yeah.
I'm gonna take this shit off for you real quick.
Wings is a fucking idiot, dude.
I would make it 5 minutes. I'd make it 5 minutes.
The savages.
Yeah, I'm unleashing the savages.
He wants us to see what happens.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, tell your moderators if they're breaking a rule, like against YouTube, like saying an N-word or something like that, ban them, right? Of course, ban them. If they're spamming big blocks in the chat, ban them. If they're spamming docs in the chat, ban them. But if somebody is saying, I don't like Wings, he's fat or something, do not ban that person. Let that person have their voice.
All right, I'll see what I can do, especially since I got my PlayStation account right now. So like, my next few streams are going to be improvised.
All right, Wings. We have that group chat on Twitter, so now I have a way to reach you through Tipster, and I'll talk to you more about the documentary.
All right. Bye.
I'm supposed to like, go quick something.
I see it.
Well, that's the end of that. Listen, man, all I have to say is that's a very interesting situation. I feel like it doesn't... I don't know, bro. I feel like... bro. Listen. The allegations seem pretty unconfirmed. I mean, you know, we can't really just assert that these things must exist just because somebody alleges them. This guy's motivation originally seems to be that he doesn't like Wings of Redemption because he's a fucking asshole, and then he said some truths, and then he also said some lies. Right? So yeah, and then at the end of it though, yeah, Wings of Redemption, I don't know why he doesn't just say fuck it and like embrace his shit, man. I mean, he would be so much better off, but I guess it is what it is. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to learn how to support further, you can check the Patreon link down below where you can receive exclusive access to my workout blog, some recipes for Mama Gut, as well as your name featured at the beginning and end of every single one of my videos. Or you can check out my Twitch page where you can potentially subscribe for free by going into the chat and using your Amazon Prime sub for free.